Hello, I was asked to answer some questions for movie break. First question, when did you originally have the idea for the Brimstone movie? I think, I don't know, after I did Winter and Wartime, which was quite successful, I thought if I ever want to do a Western, it should be now. But that, of course, was a vague idea. I started to think about why I like Westerns so much, and it realized that it had to do with the fact that it's this very boyish idea that, in sort of like a lawless, raw land, that there's something very appealing about it. But then it hit me that that was, of course, only true for half of the population. And when I realized that all this freedom came with had a bad side, and I think that freedom was not for females. And then I realized that I had never seen that point of view in a movie. So this is when the story of abuse in those times started to. I started to think about that. How much time went by having the first idea for the movie and the actual beginning of the shooting? I think the first idea and the shooting, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years or something like that, I think. In which order did you shoot the 4 chapters, exactly like the movie? I think, yeah, sort of. I can be very cocky and say that was exactly how I planned it, but that's luckily how it went. Within chapters, of course, I didn't shoot everything in the right order or in the continuous order, because there are so many practical things. If you go back to the same location in the story, then you usually film that whole location in one go. But I did start with chapter 3, and then I went for chapter 2, and then 1 and 4, sort of in that order, mostly. Brimstone had a budget of $12 million, no, 12 million euro, so that should be, and was, besides Oorlogswinter, your most expensive movie. Is it a challenge to work with such a large budget? Well, the thing is that it was definitely my most expensive film, because Winter and Wartime, Oorlogswinter, was 4 million euros. This was 12, so you would say that this is... but on the other hand, it's a 2.5 hour movie. It was a lot more complicated, and had a lot of big stars in it, and a lot of things were much more expensive because I was shooting it in 4 different... 4 or 5 different countries, different areas. I had to have a very complicated shooting schedule. So actually 12 million felt like it actually needed to be 40. So I had to be really well prepared. If it were a Hollywood movie, it probably would have cost 40-50 million at least. So we had to draw a lot. If you see like this, the town, there isn't an inch that was built that was not used, because we drew everything in advance, and then we built it so we wouldn't spoil any money. Well, I guess that's the answer. How difficult was filming in a snowy landscape? Well, I've done that before. It's cold. And yes, it is difficult. Constant snow and everything, and you have to cover your tracks all the time, because you want the snow to be virgin. It's I think there's something very appealing. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it a second time. But it is very difficult, definitely. Which are your favorite 3 Western movies, and why? My favorite movie in any genre would be Once Upon a Time in the West, so that has to be number 1. Then I pick a number 2, which is not that well known, which is Duck You Sucker, also by Sergio Leone, and I think it's a fantastic and most underrated movie of all times. And then a third one, I think I should pick a bit more modern one, so I pick The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, which is a masterpiece in this century. And Also a highly underrated movie. What connects you to the Western genre? I think the Western genre is, well, as I said, there is something very appealing about this whole lawlessness, even though it had a downside. But also, I think it is the most filmic genre there is. It is, you know, you can tell really almost mythological stories, and somehow it doesn't get abstract. You know, you can stylize very much with still keeping one foot in the in reality. I think most filmmakers love westerns. Would you like to make another Western movie? And yes, what would it be about? Yes, I would definitely want to make another Western movie. I don't think I will do soon, but well, for instance, I was approached by my favorite writer, James Carlos Blake, who has written one of the best books ever, and an influence on Brimstone, called In the Rogue Blood. And he said that he loved the movie, and since then I'm thinking about making a movie out of In the Rogue Blood, but I would have to have a really lot of money, because that would be like a 4-hour movie at least, I think. All right, that's it. Have fun. Thank you very much. See you. Bye bye.